We're here organizing the National Cartoonist Society annual golf tournament with Mort Walker and Greg Walker, two of the most prolific cartoonists in the United States. Thank you for coming sitting down. It's a great honor for us.
Well, no, we just broke away for 10 minutes from our work, to come down here.
Oh, all right. You work all the time? I understand you spend most of your time on a Barca lounger.
Yeah, but that's thinking up ideas. Yeah.
He spends more time in the golf cart.
I think up ideas in the middle of the night. And when I wake up in the morning, if I wake up 10 minutes early, I think of ideas. I have my pad with me at the breakfast table.
It's second nature to you now. It's instinct.
They call me Energizer Bunny.
Is that right? The ideas just keep flying out. Because you've been doing this now basically professionally since you were about 11 years old. Is that right?
I sold my first cartoon when I was 11.
See,
yep.
I got it right.
Yep. And then by the time I dropped out of school, began sending my cartoons all over the country.
Yeah.
I sold about 300 of them before I went back to school.
And started winning awards.
Yeah, but then I started my first comic strip when I was 14.
And which one was that?
It was called The Lime Juicers. It was about British sailors. They had a big fat captain just like Sergeant Snorkel.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of irresponsible sailors.
Yeah.
Just
so
like,
that was a...
Yeah. I never knew it. It was
Beetle Bailey.
Forerunner of Beetle. I didn't know it.
And where did it go from there? How long did you do the Lime Juicers?
Until I went to work for Hallmark Cards, and I became their head editorial designer.
Right.
It was during the war, and they realized that a lot of guys are going to be sending cards home. Soldiers.
Yeah, sure.
They need something to send home. So
yeah.
At that point, all they had were cards for women. They had flowers and ribbons and stuff like that. And I said, "You don't have anything for men?" They said, "Oh, yes, we do. We got these little critters. They're little bears. And if they got a pink ribbon, that's for women. If they got a blue ribbon, that's for men." And I said, "I wouldn't send one to my grandmother."
So what kind of stuff did you start designing for them?
Humor cards.
The gag
stuff that the soldiers could send to their families. And I did all their cards. I was the only designer. They had an art department, but I would send my designs over to the art department. So I did that. I used to do 75 cards a week.
That's an incredible volume, especially creating something that had never existed before. Yeah.
But it was just fun. We had a lot of fun.
And then into the Army, you went in and you were there again.
4 years.
For 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you were still drawing there, right?
Yeah, but just for myself. I only had one printed in the Sergeant Stripes all the time I was in.
Yeah.
But wherever I went, I would do sketches and photographs and stuff like that. So I came back with all these volumes full of photographs. It was really almost a paid vacation for me. I went all over Italy and Switzerland during the war.
And that began to inform the creation of Beetle.
I didn't realize it, because Beetle started as a college strip.
Right. And
after I graduated, after the war.
After the war, you went back to college.
I went back to college, and I was editor of the school magazine. Mm-hmm. And I used to do drawings, cartoons, covers, and everything like that. And when I graduated, I came to New York. And bingo, within a year, I was the top-selling magazine cartoonist. And
these are one-panel gag cartoons.
Back in those days, we had the Saturday Evening Post, like the New Yorker does, one-panel gag cartoon. Yeah. So I was the top-selling for 2 years, top-selling cartoonist.
And somebody came along and offered.
Well, my ex-wife said, "You only made $8,000. If you're the top seller, this is not a good business." I said, "Okay." So I started a strip.
One thing he forgot to point out was he ran a prison camp during the war, which was a perfect
German prisoner of war camp. I had 10,000 German prisoners of war.
Right.
I was 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And they just said, "Oh, you take over the prison camp." That's all the preparation I had. I do nothing.
And you're still using that material from those days as a prison camp.
I'm still making fun of authority. Yeah. All the stupid rules I had to follow.
Right.
I used to have a theory. I said, no matter what you want to do, go ahead and do it. And then if they tell you can't do it, I say, okay, and then you don't do it again. But I said, you get away with a lot of stuff that way. Good advice for your viewers.
Here from the New York Comic Con with the Walkers. We'll be right back.